Welcome to Tome of Legends, where we, Rude Kaiser, remove one of our page counters to teach you all about a legendary creature. Every week, we bring a new tale, and we have an enchanting episode today because we're going to explore the history and playstyles of Zur the Enchanter. When we first began playing Commander, we bore witness to a stacks-heavy combo deck with Zur at the helm. And while we didn't understand those words back then, having grown older, we now understand that our Enchanter friend was just a tutor for that deck and decks like it. But they aren't decks built to be Zur decks. Many, we feel, still believe Esper to be one of the least fair colors in the game, which is why that color gets so much more hate than others. Of course, this is one of the first decks we wanted to make. One of our favorite Magic cards is Necrotic Plague, because it just sits on the field all game doing its job, and it's very on theme. And another is Sun Titan, whose flavor text is one of the channel's slogans. So naturally we gravitated to this 3-color enchantment deck. As far as art goes, he has had 3 versions printed, starting with the original from Ice Age, whose magic overflows from his mind as depicted by Pete Binters. Next we had Daddy Zur by Josu Hernandez, which shows a far more malevolent looking wizard stewing alone on a frozen tundra. The last one is Post Malone Zur by Chase Stone, and no, we're not gonna call it Post the Enchanter. In-universe, Zur exists on Dominaria from a time following the end of the Brothers' War known as the Ice Age. Once a citizen of the Kingdom of Keldor, he was exiled for attempting to attain immortality. He then spent a few dozen centuries doing whatever he wanted to. But a life without meaning isn't a life worth living. When he returned in Dominaria United, he was allowed to be a professor at the Tolarian Academy, under Joda's supervision, where he now fosters knowledge in the minds of the young and is definitely not up to anything else. The card itself only has 2 abilities. It can fly, and it tutors for any enchantment card in your deck with mana value 3 or less and then puts it into play whenever it is declared as an attacker. There are a lot of enchantments Zur can tutor for in these colors, and the combination of flying and his 4 toughness makes surviving the all too necessary attack step more likely. The enchantment he tutors for also enters before blockers are declared, so you can slip on a power pump, protection, or even get old reliable into play. Due to Rule 303.4F, an aura cheated into play will be placed on whatever the controller chooses, which, because it doesn't target, bypasses Shroud, Ward, and Hexproof. The way we have Zur built is the tried and true Aura Voltron way. This is our kill suite. We call it this because these are the only things Zur needs to become lethal in the air. To defeat a player in EDH, you only need to deal 21 damage to them using your commander. This leaves a lot of space for different kinds of enchantments, which we have filled with our favorite kind of auras, which we refer to as off switches. But just because this is the most common way the deck is built, doesn't mean that this is the only way. So here are some different playstyles that we find are just as effective. Astral Slide is an enchantment that exiles something and returns it to play whenever you cycle a card. Cycling as a strategy is very skill intensive and offers many opportunities to display your razor sharp wit. It's also a lot of fun cycling cards for free. Playing the deck this way grants you many avenues through blinking, triggers from discarding or drawing cards, and graveyard effects. There are also snow variants, which are very flavorful and on theme, taking things back to Zur's frozen centuries in exile. Stacks is denoted by resource denial in conjunction with taxing, so hate cards that force players to only cast 1 spell a turn can really turn your 1-turn tutor into an even more invaluable resource. Because Necropotence is probably the best draw effect this deck has access to, life is a resource you may be low on the most, so either pack life gain effects or have abilities that only work when you're at low life. All that glitters only shines because you aren't running Enchanted Evening, and yes, Ethereal Armor is a better enchantment to copy as well. Enchantress effects are a little awkward because most of your enchantments will be cheated in, not cast, so supplement them with constellation effects. And that was Zur the Enchanter, the mystical Ice Age wizard. We want to thank you for watching. We've been Rude Kaiser, hoping to see you all next time when we look into a supersonic soldier. Now if you'll excuse us, we need to fight our way out of a rhino's bargain.